Doom Patrol Weird Patrol. It makes sense. It's a weird show. But damn, do I enjoy the hell out of it. What's up, everyone? Nick here from The Real Heroes Show. And in this episode, I'm going to be covering the latest episode from Doom Patrol. And as this is getting released on Wednesday, it'll be a day away from the next episode. I know I'm a little bit behind. There's tons of stuff that's been going on, both with things that we've been trying to cover here on the channel and just in personal lives. So I'm going to try and cover this as fast as possible just to make this a shorter video. So without further ado, if you haven't seen this episode on HBO Max, go watch it and then come back here and hear what I had to say. Overall, I really enjoyed this episode. I think it was a great way of tying in the past meets the present, and now we start to see how through 7 episodes of this season what the aim is, what they're trying to actually do here. And I think the interesting thing about this season is there's still the individual character arcs that they're trying to deal with themselves, right? Between Larry, between Jane, between Cliff, and Rita and Vic. You know, they're trying to figure out their own identities and you know what's going on with Cliff's hand, what's up with Larry and his maggot tumor, Rita and her past affiliation with the Sisterhood of Dada, which we know more of now, but with Jane and Kay and all the other personalities, and then of course of Cliff and his Parkinson's, I guess maybe, but gambling habit as well, and then Vic with his own hero identity crisis and his own skin and metal. And again, with Laura, with finding out that she is Madame Rouge, an evil person, as that comes out in this episode from Rita's own lips. Again, I think they did a great job, and this is finally over the hill of the first half of the season, going into the second half of the season. I think it was a great build up. Definitely best first half of the season, maybe first half of any season within the 3 seasons of Doom Patrol, of course. So, I think covering Cliff first, trying to figure out, he wants to do more for his daughter and grandchild, which he thinks he's fine, but we see his hands start to shake, and of course he's a little bit out of touch with being a father and caring for a child, and kind of makes the best in the kitchen. And of course he gets right back into his gambling habits with the chick online, and right as that happens, he gets transported to the old Sisterhood of Dada hideout. We see Larry, who has thrown up the tumor. Fun little note there. As I was watching this episode, I'm eating food. I'm eating my dinner, and I'm seeing Larry throw up this maggot. And I'm like, oh, man, this might be the wrong time to eat food right now. But needless to say, I kept eating my food because why not? I was hungry. And I think the interesting part where, again, they talk about after the show on HBO Max, where Larry doesn't want to abandon it because of what he sort of feels and regrets for his kid. And so he goes back and is like, I made you food, and puts his scarf around it, and obviously he gets transported from the forest. And same thing with Jane, where she is seeing Kay. Kay had a little oopsie daisies with her bike being stolen, and Jane starts to panic because she knows what everyone else is going to think of her, and of course she thinks someone there did it, but it could have just been some random person that stole it, and so they're seemingly turning on Jane, and of course I love the Jane's entrance and that foul mouth of hers, and I think one of the other interesting parts is more so with Vic, how he calls Ronnie, where she's off in the woods, caring for herself, surviving, since she has the skills to do so, but he decides to call her instead of his own father. And even after Dr. Chalmers had said, you should probably talk with a loved one, he doesn't call a loved one, even though he might be smitten, for this girl. He cares, obviously, right? He cares, but it's not so much the fact that he loves her, like he might love his father. And I think with such a big procedure, he knows that his father would object and probably try and stop him, and probably tell the doc, do not go through with this, and probably do whatever he can to stop it and to shut it down. But of course, that doesn't even happen because he gets teleported while he's on the table and high from the gas. And so, there's a interesting flashback. And of course, Jane even spells it out like she's like, WTF, is this a flashback? Yes, it is. Which it's not so much, and I don't fault the show for spelling it out because we could see what it was, but I'd say for the sake of just adding the humor into it, for them in that moment, was just pretty funny. And of course, everything's starting to click again. Everything's starting to click in for Laura. She's understanding where she was, what she was going through, back in 1949. And now we know that obviously Malcolm was the one that died, as Laura basically killed her, or it was the guard, one of those soldiers that killed Malcolm. And when they were in, I think episode 3, or was it 2 or 3 this season, when she's like, I don't know who you are, and like the afterlife, and then of course now we know who that is. And again, I think with them tying things together throughout this season, it's been it's been really cool. It's been exciting to see where things have led to. I think they've done a great job, even though, again, there's some weird stuff that happens in this season. But I think that's just what makes this show different, especially within like the DC realm. It's not like Titans or any of these other CW DC shows, right? This is really weird. And again, I think it sets it apart, and that's one of the things that I think that's why people should watch it. It might not be up people's alleys or up to people's tastes, but I think at the end of the day, this provides some sort of different, perspective on heroes, or people with are basically metahumans, right? That go through different experiences, and there's some interesting moments again in the flashbacks of in the Sisterhood of Dada, when they're all talking about what they've experienced. And I really liked the usage of are they making the world a better place? And as they said, like, we've lived through plagues, we've lived through the Holocaust, we've lived through wars, entire cities, evaporated in our own backyard from weapons, right? Referring to like the world wars, but and obviously just the unfortunate part of slavery and everything like that. And again, I think the realization to include real life matters into the show, transcends the characters a little bit more than usual, because again, it's a fictionary show, but they like to include real life events, and to weird meta stuff, but to the point where everything again from past meeting present, and we see the Sisterhood of Dada characters along with the Doom Patrol characters, and when Rita says, you're evil and you need to be the one to free Malcolm. Of course, there's this egg in a cage. What does that mean? I'm like, what kind of creature is that? It starts poking through the shells, and then it's a freaking butterfly with a face on it. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. Again, I enjoyed it, but man, it was weird. And of course, Laura is the one to release him, but Rita can't stand it. She opens the cage, and it wasn't just that one face butterfly that flew out. It seemed like endless amounts, smaller ones. And then the Sisterhood of Dada vanished, and Madame Rouge, sorry, she flies away. And the Doom Patrol's like, what's going on? One poops on Jane's face. Some more humor there. Then one flies right into Larry. Another one flies into Cliff, Vic, and then a bunch fly into Jane, and then the episode ends. Now, you may or may not have watched the preview for next episode, but we're getting Brendan Fraser in the flesh. Yeah, this is the comeback of Brendan Fraser. He's in more movies. He's gonna be in more shows. Yeah, he's making a comeback, y'all. So be ready. Now, what's going into next episode? It seems like because of this face butterfly thing that flew into their chests and warped them somewhere else, to another weird plane of existence, where it seems from I think Vic's lines about his childhood. So I wonder if they're all going to experience relative things to their childhood, or to who they once were growing up. Because again, we see Brendan Fraser in the flesh talking to himself. We see Larry in the flesh talking to himself. So it'll be weird to see. I don't know if it's going to be all the same. It might be just different parts of their lives depending on what they're sort of going through. And again, that might be the other connection of their identity crisis that they're experiencing. So maybe that's part of it, and to essentially make them all better people, I guess. So it'll be really interesting. Again, I think this episode was well done by connecting everything and then still carrying things on. So it's not like we don't know where the second half of the season is going. I'm really looking forward to it. I think this could be they could end on a really, really high note, because we know there's going to be season 4 already. So I think this is going to be a great rest of the ride here. So what did everyone else think? Does everyone think this is another weird episode per usual? Did it fit? Did it not fit? I think it did. I'd say if I had to rate it out of 10, I'd maybe give it about 8. I think so far this season has been about that. Pretty consistent on an episodic basis. I think some of the best is yet to come. I think once we see more breakthroughs per characters, and of course as more evil comes out and more good comes out, we're going to see some more epic parts. And then I think, again, once the rediscovering or new discoveries that each of our the Doom Patrol characters come to, I think that they're going to eventually go into different roles within themselves, which makes them better heroes, which makes them a better unit, better team. So again, it'll be pretty interesting. But if you're new here, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, help support the channel. We're trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers, but of course we appreciate every single one along the way. Is really very, very appreciative of everyone that supports us. So hit that bell for all of our future content, because we got some more movies coming out, more DVD reviews, of course, and we're going to keep covering some new shows like Invasion on Apple TV Plus, and a lot more in the future. So until next time, I will catch you all on the next video. Cheers.